Rightio, we are live and I am very, very worried. Gentlemen, Daniel Hibbard, Toby McKinnon, welcome boys. We don't have to wait for any delay. You guys can talk all over each other. For once, we're actually in person, boys.
So I don't have to put my hand up to talk, Paul?
No, you do not.
You haven't got a question.
If I keep doing that, do you reckon I'll keep bringing me beers from the bar?
Well, that's an issue. You're driving one, leading one already. We've got all sorts of trouble
I'll
happening.
finish that one.
Okay,
I'm on this one.
You're about to saddle up the second one.
Yes, we're going to settle one up in a second.
Let's give up where we are. We're actually at the Charlton Harness Racing Club for what's been a huge day. You guys have done a big job. I sat back, put the feet up, did nothing, but it was all good. But you guys have done a huge job here today. It's been a great day. It's been well received, hasn't it?
Has, Paul. The pun-off that the club's organised.
Better just explain, because there might be some people that haven't seen it. Canberra and the Kiwis might not know what's going on, so just explain the whole day as it went.
I just started to explain
and I cut you off. This is much better, isn't it?
A bit like when you were driving as well.
Have I told you about this dump button that I've got that I can actually dump you?
You used to cut people off driving as well. No wonder you don't get a steer.
We're going to try and go for 1 hour, not 2.
All right. So Charlton today, cup meeting, and we had 10 punters, predominantly professional punters, come up with $1,000 each. $250 went into a kitty. They gambled with the $750. Absolutely fantastic. Are you just checking that we're working? Absolutely fantastic result for the club as they put up the money for Cody Winnell and Nikita Ross to play. They were playing for the training centre here, the Charlton Harness Racing Training Centre. They're working towards buying a walker for the facility. And Cody Winnell has done the right thing by the club, and he's got up and won with a in excess of $2,000 return. Daniel Hibbard, I tell you what, Paul. I put a lot of work into this before the day. Daniel Hibbard has saved my bacon today a number of times, which is pertinent because the Cormacs do run the piggery. So
don't tell me the butcher's going to come back into today's show.
Oh, the Collins Court Butchers. I did get a message from the Collins Court Butchers saying how good the show was last night, so I think he might be pretty happy.
Daniel, don't you worry. They're going to get more name drops than anyone.
Now, let me tell you, $4,500 towards the training centre at Charlton, produced by Cody Winnell and Nikita Ross, who have out-punted the other 9 punters here today. Great result for the club. Sensational coverage by MediaTek throughout the day on Trot's Vision. Lots of good feedback. We've got some people, some crazy ladies over there telling us something about one. Paul only saw one finger in the air. Don't think you need to guess which finger.
I'm not going there. Daniel, behind the scenes, you didn't get to have the microphone. There's no Glory Town.
No, he did. He got up a few times.
Yeah, I was up for a little bit. We got up there a little bit early, but yeah, I was doing a lot of data entry stuff. All the
well, that's all I saw you doing was typing.
It was look.
He did. He worked
the
hard.
The system that Tobe had was really good. If we didn't have that, we were in a lot of trouble because it just would have been impossible to keep track of all the bets. The trouble was they kept all the guys. Some of the guys had quaddies with lots of horses. One of them took 10 quaddies, so that was a bit of a challenge. But once we got those into the system, it all worked really well. And as the day wore on, the bets sort of got a little bit more streamlined, and they just sort of were banking on horses winning rather than the outlandish trifectas and first fours. But it was a really good effort by Tobes to get the system to work. Believe it or not.
Now, Paul, you're not in control anymore. Normally, we're all separated. The three of us are here. You can put dump buttons, but this here, and I'm going to put it on screen, right? Can you see that?
Yep. It's a Christmas tree,
That is a pine tree, Paul. That is a pine tree. For those that saw last night...
I was still talking about Charlton.
No, we've moved on. We're going back a day to Mount Gambier. Paul and I went to Mount Gambier. As you drive in, the last 50 kilometres to Mount Gambier, there'd be approximately... there'd be 10 million pine trees. We've rolled on into Mount Gambier, past all the big sawmills that cut up those pine trees, and Paul says to me, it's a big town, Mount Gambier. I wonder where it gets its money from. There must be some industry here. Paul.
It wasn't one of my brightest moves, I'll give you that. I saw that. That's a second run. Make sure I have 2 cameras so I can flick off the camera that you're going to.
And before we move on, I do have a lookalike here somewhere. So if you can just pad out for a minute for me.
Mount Gambier last night was a sensational night. We had a lot of fun there, and it was something very, very different. and something that we enjoyed doing, Tobes, didn't we? It was a lot of fun that way. It was a different way. We called races a little bit differently. You're going to have to, I don't know if that'll come up. Why didn't you give it to me? If you had gave it to me before the show, I'd have been able to throw it in.
Paul, I sent it to you last week. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to get this on somehow, Paul.
Closer. Yep, that's better. That's okay. Right, Tobes is working really well here. He's got another gag coming up and it's dropping out as well. So that is the great
Mick Gadsden and Yogi Bear for
there's
the look-alike.
There's a fair Mick Gadsden sitting over there now. If
He's
he was
directly
watching,
in front
Yogi.
of us.
If you sit down here, sit down.
Yogi!
Sit down.
He's not answering a Yogi yet.
That's
Oh!
that's not Yogi, is it? It is Yogi. Yogi Bear.
It is
yeah,
Yogi
it is
Bear,
too. Yeah, that's very good.
Tell you, Paul, beautiful sunny day here today.
It was. Are we going to get on track? We are on loose lines. It could go anywhere at the minute this show. Mickey
Very
Bellman,
loose at the
Mickey Bellman's
moment.
actually listening to us on the way home. He's got us in the Bluetooth going home.
Mickey Bellman gave me that look. Oh, no, I'm not supposed to dob him in. Sorry. It's a little cool on the ears, don't you think?
Yes, it is possibly a little bit cool on the ears, Tobes. You might, I'm going to see how long this stays on to, but you might want to put a beanie on, yes.
Now, today, getting back to the Charlton punt-off, Gareth Hall, he cleared out by 10 lengths at the start of the race. You know who he reminded me of? Krug.
But Krug is Woodlands.
Krug?
No. You got to get the
was
logo
sold
down. You got to bring the logo down a bit.
for 150
Not that much.
for 150,000 at the NZB Standardbred Sales, Paul.
So Cam will be very happy because
He's
Cam
won the Great Northern Derby. He'd be up to nearly $500,000, Krug. He went out, he led by 10 lengths in that race. He did a Gareth Hall, but unlike Gareth Hall,
he sustained it.
He sustained it, Krug. He was too good. In the NZB Standardbred, did I mention that? Surely there's a polo shirt.
Rightio. There's got to be something at some stage. Who would know? But Cam was going to join in, so he was going to watch the show. I told him we were going live tonight, so he's possibly sitting back in New Zealand, feet up, drinking a nice glass of red and enjoying the... I don't know if he drinks red anymore. Have you seen how much weight he's lost? Pretty impressive photos on his Facebook page, weren't they?
You did show me last night, actually,
very,
Paul.
very
I've never met the bloke, never had a conversation with him, but I feel like we're good mates.
Daniel, how was your week been, mate?
Busy week. I had 2 greyhound meetings, one on Friday and then Friday afternoon at Bendigo, and then yesterday morning. So stopped the night in Bendigo, found a lovely burger joint for dinner.
Know what you were going to say then?
Lovely burger joint.
Lovely burger joint for dinner. And then home to the folks in Donald for the weekend, for last night, and then here today. So it's been a big 3 days, that's for sure.
Heading home tonight.
Yeah, and then 3 hours to home tonight. So, yeah. Looking for the bed when I get home.
It's all good. We don't mind. None of us mind travelling. We were going to do this show a little bit earlier, but I've only just got back. I've only just got back from Ballarat as it is as well. We are all have very, very busy lives. Tobes, quick recap on Mount Gambier because we were there last night. Great crowd, wasn't it? And well done to the whole club. We know they watch. They actually told us they all watch the show, and they did a great job putting a good show on last night. Yeah,
Paul. I think I said it last week, or might have been on SEN track, but. The volunteers at that club, as we saw last night, they couldn't do any more to help us. We were driving out the joint. They were still giving us stuff. Here, have some Rocky Road.
Wasn't a good Rocky Road? Neil, just for the record.
Rocky Road.
It got us. And if they're wondering how much was left in the car this morning, 0. Absolutely nothing left.
Yeah, no, we polished that off.
It was gone.
People don't understand. We give each other a bit of lip. Well, I give you a bit of lip. But 4 hours home, there's never any lip or anything.
It actually took us a little bit longer than 4 to get home.
Or whatever it was. There's no animosity or anything until we got to that last bit of Rocky Road, and then all of a sudden guns were out. There was a little bit of...
It is actually a true story, Daniel. I was actually going for the thing, and I was like...
On me. He said, you went on the Rocky Road. I said, I didn't need on the Rocky Road. There was a piece left.
Jackie Barker had a great night. Could have had a really good night. She's had a good day today too. Could have had a really good day as well, but she had a good night at Mount Gambier last night. Jason Lee had a couple of good wins that meant a lot. Fair bit of passion about country racing, isn't it, when you get back to the Mount?
Yeah, Jason Lee getting a double. Jackie Barker getting 2. Someone got 5 winners though, Paul.
Yeah, someone may have tipped 5 winners. We won't go there, Daniel.
He's been on
7
that all
races,
day. All day
5
I've
winners,
heard about
Paul.
that.
If anyone...
I've been told I'm not allowed to say two words that start with Creative Lad. I'm not allowed to say those 2 words to start with that.
It was a big night. We were worried. We had to do the race calls.
51 into 6.
We had to do the race calls, and halfway through it, he goes, anyone that's on Creative Lad is in a bit of trouble here because it's 3 deep the trip. But
still won. $51 at open, Paul.
Anyone that watched the show and thought, why are you guys not calling them the last 300 metres? The crowd was that thick. Where we were, we could not see them at all, could we, Tabes? There was not a word of lie. They were that deep. Once they got to the Derby, we could actually see them with 100 metres to go. It was actually a unique experience.
What about David Drury? He snuck down the outside and won a race.
We called him going to run last.
I said
listen
that
to Dan.
Tobes.
We're on delay. Tell
I said
story.
that to Tobes before. I said we were, I had the phone. I was watching Facebook, the stream, and I had Sky Racing going, and Sky obviously was ahead because of the delay with Facebook. And I'm listening in the background. I can hear. I think Yogi's just realised what's going on.
I've texted him the lookalike.
I've seen on the Sky channel, Huey Jr.'s come right down the outside. Meanwhile, on Facebook, Toby says, nah, it's gone, it's got no hopes, got held up. I'm thinking, hello, boys. Xavier, you've declared Xavier's going to win. And you've said, what are we going to interview him? What are we going to ask him? I'm thinking, you don't know what's coming, boys. And then Huey Jr.'s down the outside fence.
And wasn't he a good interview?
It was,
he was
really
a great
good
interview.
Claire said just terrific, just hilarious, she said. Yeah. And then Jason Finnis as well, and then Brent Howard. We caught up with people we wouldn't catch up with anyway.
And we could have still been there talking to Brett Howard, I reckon. 40 years old, never played in the Magoos. Never played
a game in the seconds.
He thinks he may have a couple of times for Glenelg, didn't he say?
Yeah, but that's SANFL.
Yeah, and that was only coming back from injury. So, yeah, terrific bloke and did a really, really good job. We don't have any footage of the Mount Gambier races, only because it takes a while to get everything downloaded. Here at Charlton, though, boys, today, and for some reason I'm in all sorts of trouble here. Just pad out for a sec, boys. Nah, we're right now.
Tell you what, it's getting warm with this beanie.
Yeah, you can take it off because I'm sweating. I'm in shorts underneath. You guys are in pants. That's all good. Who's going first? Pacers Cup?
Yeah, Pacers Cup.
Rightio.
Give me a spell.
Won by Lee Sutton, so it was a terrific drive, but away you go, Daniel. Actually, I've got to hit that button there, mate.
And I think this really meant a lot to Lee. Obviously, he's...
Hang on a sec. We have a serious issue.
Talk? What's your serious issue?
I don't have it...
Seriously...
It's not coming up, Tobes, for some reason. We'll try and get it. There we are.
Go.
Now we go.
It's not a serious
issue. It obviously meant a lot to Lee. It's obviously meant a lot to Lee. He's obviously come back down from being in New South Wales for a while, and this is his first real big win. He's driven some nice winners across the last few weeks, but this was a serious race, and he drove it a treat. Coming off the ended up 3 back on the outside. He had horses coming around from the back at the 800 metre mark, and he decided to stay in, and that was probably the winning of the race. Obviously, in the early stages, Greg has kept the lead on I'm Another Masterpiece, and Somewhere Secret's on the move here to get to the death, and that pretty much was the end of the moves effectively in the race. They maintained this order for quite a deal further into the race.
I can go into fast forward mode. You watch this. There you are. So you've got about 1,200 to go now.
So can we do that when you start to talk? Can we just wind it forward so when you finish?
Daniel keep going.
So they maintained this order. The first move came from Miss McGonigal at about just before the winning post, came out 3 deep, and Malcolm's Rhythm got the trail up. But it was pretty much normal service was resumed when they held these positions. It's an interesting to note that the trifecta in the race, obviously trained by Emma Stewart, had the first 3 across the line, and they occupied the positions. The death seat, the 1-1 and 3 back the outside. I mean, if they could have planned it any better, that was the most amazing thing about it, is that if you wanted them in a good spot, they were in the 3 best spots that you wanted to be. So they're going into the back straight here. Mr. McGonigal sort of moved up 3 deep. Malcolm's Rhythm's got the trail. But they'd gone not really all that hard through the early part, so it made it hard for those ones out the back. And I'm Another Masterpiece is doing a good job in front. Somewhere Secret's run a bottler of a race. 4 Big Men's...
Is he commentating the race at this point?
Yeah, well, I have a habit of doing that. 4 Big Men's had a really nice run in the one. This is the point here. When they come off the back straight, Miss McGonigal's dropping back. So 4 Big Men tips out of the 1-1, and if you watch...
Tips and rolls,
correct. 4 Big Men out, and now Lee gets to the outside with Like a Wildfire right down the outside. Majestic Cruise has got the sprint lane, was charging through. I'm Another Masterpiece is battle. Yeah, well, the margin...
I was on
the big wave of the whip here for Lee. The margins from 1st to 9th was 12 metres, which was sort of gives you an idea of how compact it was. And for Like a Wildfire to actually win the race, given the way it was run, to come down the outside from that position, it's a really big run because the leaders were entitled to probably win the race, or Majestic Cruiser to get up on the inside. So it's been a massive run. Well done to Emma for training the trifecta, and well done to Lee for a big win there on 30-1 pop.
It was interesting on Trot's Vision. As I said, I was in patchy areas and all the rest, but I heard the post-race interview, and Lee said one of his, probably the criticisms he has is he can be a little bit too aggressive, but he decided he'd just behave himself a little bit today, and it definitely paid off. He's a gifted driver. He has his issues. He's had fair life journey, I suppose, is the best way to put it, and he openly says that in himself. But that was a great drive, wasn't it? Just really patient, and it's hard to be that patient here at Charlton because you come out 4 and 5 deep on that turn, you can lose a lot of ground. He didn't lose 1 yard. He did it the right way, so he did a really, really, really good job. Anything from the beaten brigade while you guys were here on track? Anything from them at all? No, Tobes?
We were working all day, Paul. I can't believe how good a job he's done. Fair dinkum.
Of that one?
I've got to do the Trotters Cup. I can't even remember who was in the race.
I wouldn't be dropping off anything that ran down the track in that. I mean, they haven't beaten all that far. And it was pretty difficult to make ground. Malcolm's Rhythm and the other one, Miss McGonigal, they lost a lot of ground around that home turn, as you mentioned, so they've done a good job to get as close as they have.
Absolutely, and getting pushed wide, Tobes. I'm going to throw you under the bus, mate. We'll go to the Trotters Cup, but well deserved. Was going for 5 straight. And,
well deserved. They'll be happy with that.
Well defined. Is it?
Which horse is it, Paul? Is it well deserved or well defined?
Just get me out of trouble. He gallops us anyway. He actually gallops anyway. I'm in all sorts now. Well defined.
Well defined. Well done. You got there eventually. It's only won 4 cups in a row, but you know, it's probably not a name you can remember from one week to the next after it's been in the notables for 4 weeks in a row.
You're going. You're still going.
I know. We've got plenty of time here. We're just
he gallops
cruising.
though, but it's amazing here.
Kate
you can
Gaff
actually
rolls to the front with McLovin.
But just here in the picture, anyone that hasn't seen the race, you'll just see him come into the back there. He's lost a power of ground, hasn't he?
He has lost a fair bit, actually.
A lot more than you thought, Tobes, didn't you?
Paul, I was that busy today doing live Trots Vision that you don't get to see a lot of the races because you generally got the circus music going in the background and you're juggling all these things at the same time.
Hopefully one day I might get a gig on there.
No, they're looking for quality, not quantity at Trots Vision. So maybe one day, if they get it 8 days a week, then they'll go towards the quantity sort of providers.
Any chance of a commentary on the race?
McLovin's still in front, Paul. Nothing's changed for the last 400. Jackie Barker on Sparkling Success. I spoke to Johnny Mead after the race. Actually, there was a bit of roving Toby today, like Brian Taylor. I was roving
I actually
around
noticed
the room.
we called our own segment. Yeah, roving Toby. You called it about 5 times. You're like, anyone wants it, this is my gig.
Roving Toby. So I had a chat with Johnny Mead, and Johnny's just absolutely stoked with his horse. He's working as good as he ever has. He's almost going as good as Simon Phillips' wife's Rocky Road, Paul. Simon has commented on Facebook.
I thought we said I would comment on that part, but that's okay. You keep stealing all the show. This is the Toby hour by the sounds.
Things have got a bit rocky, have they, between us?
Keep going.
Give me a marshmallow and I'll be the peanut in the Rocky Road.
Sparkling Success. We spoke at Terang. No, but at Terang we said about Johnny Mead. He was betwixt and between at one stage which way to go, but the beaming smile he came back. It's been justified since. He did gallop his next start, but ever since he knew where he was at, didn't he?
And I had him on the radio that week, and he said he's working as good as he ever has. He has gone terrific here, Paul. To sit outside McLovin and run him to within 1.5 meters. Yes, there was a protest after the race, and Jackie, I don't think Jackie believes she deserved to win the race.
No, but she had to also put it in. Don't worry about that.
She certainly did. And everybody else spoke to said the exact same thing. No, she shouldn't have won the race. Yes, she should have put the protest in.
Yep.
So the stewards have got it right. Everyone got it right in this case, which happens more often than not. As here, they're really starting to get going now. Where's Magical in this picture?
Well, he was disappointing, and that's what I was going to say. There was a couple of these that were disappointing, but Magical's very disappointing because he's 1-1.
He's a very funny horse, Magical, Paul. He's a horse that's very hard to get right and keep right. He likes spacing between his runs because just for whatever reason he needs that little bit of recovery and everything, which sounds absurd seeing he ran twice in the Great Southern Star, I know, but he normally races best 2 weeks apart. But maybe McLovin and he's just returned to form. I spoke to Andy Gath after the race again on Trots Vision. Andy said for whatever reason, it's not a John Caudo thing, it's not a Glenn Gath, doesn't matter who drives McLovin. If it's not Kate, it's not Kate. For whatever reason, he just goes best for her. He's gone terrific, and this there's a very interesting, the Mary's Idol Trotters Championship, right? Going into this race, well defined that is. I know you think it's not the right horse, but it is. Was 12 points clear. McLovin draws closer now. We'll get halfway through this year. We'll get into about May and all the cups finish, and then we fire back up again in October. Be very interesting in May when we have that break where the Mary's Idol Trotters Championship. It's $25,000 bonus up for grabs where all these horses will be situated and how they'll be aiming for the cups late in the year.
And well defined in the zone right at the minute. When he comes back, he might not be able to get back into that zone. Like he can be a handful, and also back into mobiles aren't his forte, which he proved today as well. Stands seem to be his stronger point, so that can throw it under. The flip side of that is, what does McLovin do? The other side, does he concentrate on the cups or into Dominions and those things, and they try and gear him to those races? So he may not even go for those. So yeah, so it is very interesting. That's for
whatever
sure.
Happens, if Well Defined wins the Mary's Idol Trotters Championship, I'd say it's well deserved.
It's very well deserved,
correct,
and well defined.
I was just going to say, it was a really good race there. Like Well Defined's runs incredible to run third. Obviously, Magicool was disappointing. Sparkling Success was off the charts, but we mentioned pre-race the gear change with McLovin, and it was a big change. And as Toby said, Kate just seems to get the best out of that horse, and well done to them today. It's been a big win.
Go take his phone off him and just let him try and concentrate.
I think that's a good idea.
Try and get him to concentrate for the rest of the day. Don't worry about Mickey Bellman. Leave Mickey. No, yes, I did. It's all good. We'll leave it go. Robbie Royale. He's an interesting horse, Tobes. You're keen on him at Terang. You thought he was going good. He's really lost his way a bit at the minute, hasn't he?
Yep.
You didn't see him, sorry. He was dropped out last there. He just seems to be a little bit off the boil at the minute.
He did have a run or two like that last preparation, I reckon, where he just went.
But he went the other way. He starts early and then he seems to fall away. So I don't know if there's issues or not. But he's a funny trotter. He's a class trotter as well. School principal walking past. Frankie McGrath. Yep, you can smell the chalk as he goes past.
He moved 3 inches today.
Did he? From the bar?
No. Towards the bar at one stage, and that was it.
Ex-president here at Charlton as well.
Here's the chemist, the local chemist is wandering past.
That is actually the local chemist. Toby's trying to keep his hands to himself, so it's all good. So, yeah, this lady doesn't believe we're live, I don't think, either. So, yeah, so Simon Phillips has typed it in as well. Anyone that's out there watching it, by all means, send in your messages. Mickey Bellman, please stop trying to track Toby McKinnon.
Can I get my phone back?
No, we're going to leave. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave you off it. We need you to concentrate. Notables.
Mickey, can you send it to Paul and I'll grab Paul's phone?
Notables. Where is our run sheet for
winning gate of the week? What's the winning gate of the week, Paul? Do you reckon it'd be the 1, the 2, the 3, or do you think it's Adam Stevens?
Okay, Topes, you and your cryptic crossword things.
Where's our little special tile?
You didn't type them up. I didn't have time.
Nev Pangrazio really liked the Paul's Pangrazio fetish last week.
You're making that up.
I spoke to him at Kilmore.
Rightio. Okay, can we stay on track?
So we had a double for Adam Stevens at Maryborough, and I am a Wingate and Wingate guy. I'm a Wingate with James Herbert's in the car.
Homework.
Someone had to.
What do you reckon I was doing an hour before the show?
He's lifting the professionalism.
159.8. Almost found the front, but just couldn't get across. Ended up 1-1. Came down the outside, was too good. They ran home in 57.2. And Wingate guy with Josh Duggan in the cart was just too good. Sat 3 wide the last 700 metres. Dash cleared 2-1 the mile rate. And it paid $3.20. So a nice $4.20 into $3.20. I'm sure the stable would have filled up there with a nice little multi.
Mickey Bellman's keen to get it on the feed. He sent it to me. Mickey, I'll give you the drum. If you put it in the comments on the Facebook live feed, then you have half a chance that everyone else will see it, mate. So it'll be good. While we're on there, and well done to the Stevens, because they did do a good job. They do a very, very good job. But you mentioned one person's name there in Joshy Duggan, and we'll actually go to his week. He actually had a double at Maryborough, but he's had a pretty big week with the boss being out of action. Tobes, you spoke to him on SEN. Any chance SEN might give us some money and all that?
Chris.
Oh, Chris, you did, yeah.
I got the scoop, Paul. Got the scoop on SEN, got him on.
Gives us nothing. Peanuts.
Yeah, but no earn here, mate.
No earn here, mate.
So you get the B material. No, Josh Duggan, right? This guy, he is one of the most underrated blokes you'll ever meet. He really is a good fella, Josh. As everybody knows, Chris has gone into hospital on Monday. He's working 16 horses. He's the only one that can drive them out there. They've got a few helpers, yes. He's the only one driving, so he's working 16 horses. Rita had a fall. He's got a 6-month-old baby, Hudson Lee. I went and saw him at Maryborough, and I said, Josh, how you going? And he said, it's been a tough week. And no doubt, Paul, it would have been a tough week. He's been up at Sparrows every morning trying to get horses worked. And Saturday night, for Sleepy to win that race was just absolute due reward for the effort that Josh Duggan has done to keep that stable going, keep everything afloat in his personal life, with his family and with the horses. And I was just absolutely wrapped for Sleepy to win. I saw him today and I said it would have meant a lot to you personally after seeing him at Maryborough, and he said, yeah, it did mean a lot for him for Sleepy to win last night. So I'm not going to be too serious for the whole night, as you might have gathered, but I am being serious right now, and I was wrapped for Josh.
If you can just straighten you up a little bit, it'd be handy. But it was nearly the omen bet over the week when you think about it, Joshy Duggan and no sleep. Because, I mean, we've all had, got kids, and, you lack sleep and everything else like that, on top of everything else that was going on. So we're going okay. You don't worry about that,
I got back to Charlton this morning at 5 a.m.
I know.
Had 2 hours
Would you like
sleep
the violin?
And back up.
It's all good.
Is he trying to look at me? Like fair dinkum. Joshy, he's
done a great job.
I can't say anymore.
Next one.
50 Shades of CC's.
Is he still going?
And
that's me.
50 Shades of CC's, and guess what we're out of at the bar?
Canadian clubs, are they?
Yes. That's unbelievable. And that is not a joke. That is serious. We are out of CC's.
Greg.
Well, you're not getting any if they did have any left.
We've got Greg sitting over the back here. I should have had 2 cameras, but we're just doing it on a small one.
I'm going to go grab him.
In a second. We'll get through everything else first, and we might just see if he'll come over for us in a minute. But it's a little bit of movement. I don't know if you've noticed, Tobes. We've got to move cameers and everything like that. We worked
that out last night.
Wake me when you're done.
Oh, my goodness. No, Greg's done a great job. You're not going to talk about his... Oh, Daniel's going to talk about his runners.
I've got this one.
I'll follow up.
So 50 Shades of Hay and CC in America was a double here today for Greg Norman. It was a great effort for the locals to get the win. Karen Manning taking the drive on both of them. 50 Shades of Hay. The punters in the competition were, some were for it and some were against it. It was a short price and some were betting that they might do something wrong, but they actually did everything right, and it was just too tough. Karen just took hold coming around the home turn and then was able to kick it into gear and coming into the straight and just proved too good.
It was a good drive.
A Rock and Roll Jet was a nice run second, and Gracie Cullen, Mickey Bellman tried to win. He really tried hard to make it difficult for 50 Shades of Hay, but just the other horse was just too good. She's had 21 starts now for 6 wins. It feels like she's been around for a lot longer than that, but she's had 6 wins, but I'm probably sure there's probably about 4 or 5 more that should have been there if she'd have done everything right.
With the COVID lockdown, I get to see her a lot at Bendigo when she was just starting out. She just continually raced, and Brian Gaff drove her, and when her first few races, she was a real handful. So, yeah, they've done a really, really good job with her, that's for sure.
CC in America was the favourite in the other race that they won, and really dominated from the front. They only went 61-3 the half. Easy lead, and then they ran home in 56.5. They were never going to get past it in that class. So a double there for the locals, and they've had a really good day with Sanderson's pinching the claimer with Di Kerry in the second race. So not often that the locals in a country cup, like on a country cup day, get a winner, but they've had 3 here today, which is really, really good.
Yeah, they actually had a really good day, all things considered. Yep.
And talking to Ben Cormack, who was involved in the punt-off today, he mentioned that the winner of the NZB Standardbred $200,000 3-year-old race on New Year's Eve.
You've gone off the big run, so keep going. Yes.
It's a big mouthful, that.
Come on.
A horse called Aladdin.
Yep.
Is going to be coming to Australia. He gave me the date and the time and the flight number and everything.
You needed the beanie on just to be able to stop it on one side of the ears.
I did actually, Paul. I've had a bit going on today. So it's on its way to Australia, the NZB Standardbred $200,000 race winner, Paul.
Very, very good. Well, that's exciting for everyone. And his horse, A Piece of Lou, was a very good run today as well.
I was just going to say...
Have you ever seen someone drive a horse and lead 4?
Yeah, no, you behave. Keep behaving, okay? You're struggling.
It was probably the run of the day. It absolutely flew home the last couple of 100 metres.
Yeah, A Piece of Lou.
And I was actually talking to the driver who won 10 races today. Kirk Boyle won 10 races today.
No, he drove 10 winners.
He drove 10 winners, well, yeah. Anyway, he said it was unbelievable. That horse was actually flying around the turn. It was about 15 metres in front of them after they'd gone past the winning post. So it went super. It's certainly one to follow.
One D McKinnon's actually chimed in on very loose lines tonight. If he won't shut up, Paul, grab some dentistry gear and put it in. That's Danny with an eye.
That's Danny with an eye.
I am very sorry about that, Danny, I must say. So there's no hassles there. Spelling is not my strong point. I'm not sure exactly what my strong point is, but yeah, spelling is not my strong point.
I've run with this joke a few times, Paul. You spell your horses and you still work them during the spell. That's how bad you spell. I've done that.
Mildura, we're back to Mildura again.
No.
What are we up to?
It's a Charlton favour to Mildura, Paul. We're in Charlton.
It's only just a Charlton flavour, but anyway, yeah, go on.
There was a 3-me at Mildura.
Yeah.
Not a. See what that did? Not a 3 wins in a row. A 3-me for Alan Tormey.
Yeah.
See what I've done there?
Trying to, yeah. Are we going to get to it or not?
That's it. The 3-me.
That was it. So Alan won the first 3 races for the night.
Yep. Twisted Bliss. Yeah,
Yep.
Starving. Just give us a minute.
Hey.
Twisted missed lunch,
We've
Paul.
just lost the lights here.
Just lost the lights.
Twisted Bliss winning for Alan,
Andrea.
one of her own horses. Skipper's Swan Song winning for Scott Garraway, and then she won the 3rd race as well, again for Scott Garraway. And when you win your 3rd race in a row, Paul, that is what's called a feel-good feeling.
Very good, Toby.
It's the name of the horse. There's a couple of double. Last week, remember we had Death, Taxes, Tormey, and Law?
Yeah.
Well, again, Jack Law drove a double.
Yep.
And
Danielle
Hill
got a double.
Got a double as well at Mildura. And I tell you, Mildura Racing, it is absolutely
Actually, there was another
Paul.
good one, young Sam Barker. Just keeps chipping away too. He's doing a good job going semi, isn't he?
A great move up to Aaron Duns, I reckon. Like, he couldn't be in a better place at the moment. No. He's absolutely flying. He's getting up to Mildura each week. He's getting plenty of steers. You know, he may as well own a cattle farm. That's how many steers he's getting, Paul.
Unbelievable. Next, or is that all we've got for the notables?
I reckon. Well, the only other one was...
Just hang on one second.
Jackie Barker. Paul.
Any chance of the lights? Andrea O'Gorman, have we got a chance? We're actually going live and you've turned us off into the dark.
And you turned the lights out on us. I think they were telling us they want us to go home.
Yeah, no, that's all good. She's shutting us off for a good reason. This is live TV. This is what happens.
What's your issue?
We can't see the books today.
You're all dark on everyone all of a sudden.
Much better.
There we go.
Thank you. Much happier now.
Blinded by the lights.
I haven't heard that song yet either, too. So
that's for when that
was last
love
night,
song and dedications for Juanita Breen, Paul.
Oh, she doesn't need those at all. So yeah, that's all good.
Hey, hang on.
So we had one.
It's getting
we had
played
one
over
more.
there.
It's all going off here at the moment.
That song, Blinded by the Light, is on over there.
Unreal. We had one more notable, and it was Jackie Barker for her efforts there at Mount Gambier last night. I don't want to mention this horse's name because it's had too many mentions already today.
Today?
The first.
Well, I suppose it was today because I was driving home after midnight. So
hang on, just quieten it down. Let's play full concentration here.
So the first name starts with a C and the second one starts with an L, and we've heard it so many times. Apparently it was $51 into about $5.
$6.
Apparently someone else tipped it on Facebook last night and got the punters off to a good start. But it was a big run by that horse for Jackie and for Jim, and great to see it win. And then Creative Finale, they've just turned the lights off.
Just let it be.
Glorious Finale was a huge run in the Trotters Cup off the 40 metres. It was a pretty heady drive because going into that bottom turn or the back off the back straight, I think it was going to gallop. I'm sure it was going to gallop, but
it was going to gallop the whole way around.
I think so. Jackie took hold and managed to keep it in its gate. Picked up the bit coming around the home turn. got to the front, and then I think she just prayed the whole way up the straight, just holding onto it, and got it across the line to win. So a really nice double there for Jackie at Mount Gambier last night.
It was only a small field. It was a very competitive race, wasn't it, Tobes? Down the back straight.
Night.
Yeah, well, they were all night, but that trot was just a ripping race. Premiership standings, Tobes?
Yeah, I do like updating these, Paul, but it's kind of a bit different this week. Jackie Law has slipped clear. He's up to 42 winners. Chris Elford, as we know, has been in hospital, so he's stuck on 39. So it's not with any great happiness that Chris hasn't been able to keep driving winners. James Herbertson, 38. Greg Sugars, 35. Mickey Bellman and Kate Gath on 29. That, of course, doesn't include today. Chris Sinocio on 20. And Ellen Tormey, 25 in 7th spot. She's absolutely flying. She's nearly the leading female reigns person in the state, which is a wonderful achievement.
The Teal standings after the...
Smashing it.
She would be, wouldn't she? I'd say, yeah, she'd have to be now.
She'd be well ahead of Kate. She would have driven 20 in
She
Teal.
dropped off after. She was in front there for a little while. She dropped off, but after the week she's had, yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
We said it jokingly last night. We know we have to get the blokes to wear the teal pants.
Yeah,
It's costing the industry too much money. Kate Hargraves, as they closed last night, was leading state trainer.
Yep.
Amazing effort, really, from Sonia Smith in second with Anthony Butt helps her, and Emma Stewart third, Chris Sinocio fourth. Just, they're all within a stone's throw, Paul. 27 down to 21 where Chris is. Metro Drivers Premiership, Kate Gath.
Fine.
Metro Trainers, Andy Gath. So, just something I like talking about each week, because it's just absolutely wonderful. The State Drivers Premiership, we're nearly 3 months in, and now you're starting to think, wow, this could go down to the wire.
Absolutely, and Jack's only a young man, so you can't see him saying, I'm going to take time off, not when he's in this position. So, and a few people send me a message, get Jack on for an interview and all the rest. Very hard man, not keen on the camera. So
Oh no, had him on SEN track, no worries.
not keen on the camera. SEN track is what, mate? Is that radio? Is that got TV on it, has it? So, yeah. So, it's all good.
He's wound up tonight, isn't he? I don't think he had much sleep.
You think?
I've had 0. But that's okay.
You were pining for me all night, though, weren't you?
Next, what do we got left on our run sheet?
That's it.
So we're actually finished.
Discussion points. My next Great Northern. We can go into the Great Northern Derby, Paul. The Great Northern Derby.
They don't sponsor us, so they've got no chance going from there. No, I just think certain individuals in the sport need to have a good look at themselves, I think. Sometimes you saw something last night that's not going to get highlighted. But, yeah, have a look at themselves, because I think it was a pretty ordinary effort. One of the drives in Hobart last night that actually won the race. But, yeah, I wasn't real impressed. I think there's rules brought in place. People should adhere to them. And if you can't adhere to them, don't belong in the sport. Happy to take it up with the individual at any time too. I'm not saying it just because I've got a microphone. But, yeah, I thought it was a pretty ordinary drive. It's a very, very ordinary spectacle. So that's about as much highlighting as I think it deserves. That's my discussion point, Tobes. Yours?
I just think how good the industry's going, Paul.
I agree.
Cranbourne Friday night, there was 5,000 people there.
Yeah. Tricodes meeting, sensational. Yeah.
Massive. They're all cheering. I know they were bottom class races. It was 5-horse fields, but people cheering horses home in the trots were at Mount Gambier last night. There's a couple of thousand. There's 999 here today. So that's all that was allowed, right? So definitely no more than 999, but there wasn't any less than 998, let me tell you. And there's still what? There's still what would have been a cup crowd. For some places, there's a cup crowd still here now, and it's 7:38
Past my
On a
bedtime.
Sunday night.
on a Sunday night. So
Yeah.
we're nearly 2 hours past the last. There's still a cup crowd here.
Fair to say, if you need your prescription filled tomorrow at Charlton, don't come in early.
For the chemist,
He's still
the
going.
chemist lined up today with Frankie McGrath, and he's gone toe-to-toe, which is beer for beer, with Frank McGrath. I would not get your prescription filled tomorrow at the Charlton chemist, let me tell you.
Daniel?
This is the first time I've been here to Charlton for to the races for, I reckon, about 20 years. I mean, I hear a lot during my youth for cricket and footy and a lot of harness racing here.
Was that Paul's last drive?
Oh, maybe not that far. That's harsh.
See that? I got him going.
But look, I honestly haven't been here for a very, very long time, and obviously with the new building that's been built for all of the community, it's an incredible setup. If you're looking to come to the races or go to the races, this is certainly one place you want to come to now with this facility. It's absolutely brilliant. Their stabling area is fantastic. And look, they have put so much hard work in today, it's unbelievable. And I've been blown away by the amount of work that they've done, and they pulled it off superbly.
It's always a sentimental track for me because it is actually where I drove my first winner, which might be one more than you, is it?
Did you know?
Oh, he's got nothing.
He's got no comeback for that.
You got me. Finally, you got me.
Great impressions. First winner here. Long time ago, 1988, I'd say, roughly. 1988, 1989, I don't know. That's a long, long time ago.
What about the little thing I found on the wall at your place?
Yeah, he's looked at a photo. It's been there forever and a day. Grant and Kez drove a Quinella for me at Maryborough. It was our first Quinella. And, Grant and Karen Manning. Or Karen and Grant Manning, it actually said, didn't it?
Karen
Karen and Grant Manning. Yeah. It's been on the wall.
And you hadn't picked that up.
No, Tobes just took one look at it and he spotted it. It's funny how you can see those sort of things. So, that
Paul,
was...
I pick up those things, as you well know.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting one, but at least Grant manned up to it.
He was manning up to it, Grant. Yes, very well done. That was my gag you just used.
Mate, quick in the dead here, and I think I'm going a bit quicker than you right at the minute. We're nearly finished.
I've had 2 hours sleep.
Next week we're not sure what we'll be doing show-wise because I am in Oyen next Sunday doing the Oyen Cup there. And Monday I'll be doing a live stream. This is serious business for me for Rhiannon Park, doing a live yearling parade at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Showcasing all those yearlings. So the show may come out on a Tuesday. We'll just have to see how it goes from there. But please tune in next Monday afternoon. That's Monday week to see all the yearlings from Rhiannon Park. I've got ones coming up with Yabby Dam Farms and Oakbank as well, and Kath McIntosh's All for Nutrient coming up. But I will be trackside at Oyen doing the Oyen Cup as well. So so a little bit going on. You're not going. Neither you two boys will be at Oyen, I'm tipping.
No, unlikely.
No, I'll be at Cathedral Ranges next weekend, Paul. Got a camping trip with the
Billy
high
lives.
school mates.
Oh, no.
And the family's going. So, so I'll have the kids and we'll be up in Cathedral Ranges. And
Geography lesson, where's that?
that's between Alexandra and Hillsville.
Wow. Don't be a pretty part of the world.
It's a pretty part of the world, so hope I can sneak off for a little run up Cathedral Ranges, and so I'll be a couple of nights away there. So I'm not too worried about owing yen. I don't owe any Japanese people money, so I don't have to owe yen.
Very, very good. It's their 60th anniversary, actually, Tobes. Their 60th running of the Cup, it must be, anniversary. So,
Oh, geez, you'd want to work out what's going on. You've charged them a bomb to be there. You'd want to know what's happening.
60th anniversary, and, there's only 2 bombs I charged them.
As Cohen's caught butchers go last night.
It'll be butchered.
Hey?
Yeah, I need a freebie. He got that many. Well, don't you look at me like that. I was the one bringing it up. You had to keep chopping at it every time I got a word
chopping
wrong.
at it. Very well played. Can we wrap this up?
Yeah, definitely. Daniel, how's your week? Greyhound calling?
No, I've got a very quiet week, so nothing this week. I haven't got one until next Monday. So, little bit of time off.
Very, very good. You know who's doing Rhiannon Park with me on the microphone? You'll have to tune in. Brendan Bice. Not Brendan, Dennis Bice. Brendan Baker I was going to go with. Dennis Bice, the great Dennis Baker. Dennis Bice. How am I going? Bicey is going to be there.
Off at him for no sleep.
Bicey is going to be there on the microphone.
He can't have slept much, trust me.
He's going to be there on the microphone. So, But anyway, all right, boys, thank you very much. Something different. We probably should have had 2 cameras on, but then they'd be in the dark anyway. And we're used to working in the dark lately, Toes. We've had a few light issues, but thank you very much, guys. This has been On Loose Lines. 5 and 7. How many winners did you tip at Mount Gambier?
5 out of 7, Paul. Creative Weight 12. You want me to run them through? Creative Weight $12.
Thank you very much, everyone. We just got that button and it's worked beautifully. So well done, Daniel Hibbard. Thank you very much. And this is On Loose